Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, my friend.
I'm just burning, doing the neutron dance.
I knew you were going to say that. And joining us is our podcasting brother from another mother, Adam Riske from F This Movie. Hi, friend.
You threw me through a fucking window.
We're dorking out about 1984's Beverly Hills Cop. This is going to be so fun. It's directed by Martin Brest. Is it? Yeah. Is it? Okay, just making sure. Who
is
also
this his breast picture?
They called him Martin Titties. His friends.
I don't know.
I like his filmography. He didn't have any breast movies, really.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be his breast movie. No, because he did Midnight Run. And
yes.
Midnight Run
Great
is
movie.
Real great, but then other ones are like Scent of a Woman, Hoo-Ha!
Hoo-ha!
Meet Joe Black, which we've gotten requests for, and Margo started and was like, nope.
It's fun until he gets hit by the car, and then it's just super slow. I can't.
But nobody's ever gotten hit by a car like Joe Black.
Margo, you're the one who sent me the gif of where he's just bouncing off the car, and it never stops.
It just trended on Twitter one weekend. Like somebody saw it, and they just put their phone up at the right moment, and then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that movie was really stupid on top of everything. Like it was really goofy."
Yes.
Yeah.
You tapped out after like 15 minutes, and I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. And you're like, don't start it. We're changing movies. I'm like, all right. And he also did Geely, this director, by the way. Which
I haven't seen Geely. Is it as bad as people say that it is?
I've never seen it.
I don't think it's as bad as people make it. I think, but I think I don't know, in real life, I feel like they have so much chemistry that I want to see it on film, and it didn't really translate.
Got it.
Maybe they'll make a sequel now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no more of that turkey basting. They're going to have to do a whole other thing. They'll have to be like a baby mama. They'll have to get Amy Poehler to carry.
That's a good idea. A little crossover.
Yeah.
Geely 2, TOO.
No, TWO. She's pregnant with twins.
And then in the third one, there's talking dogs, and it's like, look who's Geely now.
Would watch.
I would actually would.
Totally would buy that box set from a used bookstore.
Now I need to see a Look Who's Talking trilogy remake with Affleck as Travolta and Jennifer Lopez as Kirstie Alley.
I'm like, I might watch it.
I would watch it. Actually, she's good at comedy.
She really is.
Yeah.
Although I didn't see the most recent one. I don't know if I'm going to be honest. But was it Marry Me?
Yeah.
I'm like, Adam, did you see that one?
No, but Owen Wilson said, "Wow, it's great! Wow,
wow." Welcome to our Owen Wilson podcast. Wow.
Great. Wow. 5 stars. Wow.
We're talking about Beverly Hills Cop. Can you tell? It stars Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, John Aston. Who else? Ronny Cox. Jonathan Banks is in there. Paul Reiser. Thoughts about Paul Reiser. Bronson Pinchot's in there. Damon Wayans is in there for a second. Adam, I know you didn't see this in theater.
No, I came to it really late. I don't think I saw this until I was in my 20s at some point. I had seen Beverly Hills Cop 2 on cable when I was like 6 or 7. And then I saw Beverly Hills Cop 3 like on video. And that was the only one of these three that I was like really kind of cognizant of it being in release.
Yeah.
And I remember that weekend, I'm just like, it came out around my birthday, and it was either going to be that or the Flintstones for my birthday movie, and I chose the Flintstones.
Sorry.
Which would have been a lose-lose. But but for some reason I watched those two before I ever saw Beverly Hills Cop, and then in my 20s, I had like a period where I went back and watched for the first time, like 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop and all the early Eddie Murphy stuff that he became, super famous for.
And then you're like, I get it.
Yeah, I got it before because like I liked Coming to America since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I saw Boomerang and I was really confused seeing that at 10, but I liked it. But that movie's great too. It really holds up.
It is good.
But yeah, I think Beverly Hills Cop is my favorite of his movies. It just like from the first time I watched it, I was just like, this is just terrific. And I really, really like it. Yeah,
me too. Margo, did you see it in the theater?
It's one of those movies. Yes, I did see it in the theater. I'm old enough, but there's a part of my brain, I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, especially when I'm watching a comedy, I can remember the audience reacting to certain scenes. And that's what goes through my head when I see it. And there's certain scenes like in this movie, there is no fat in this movie. It's just like every scene matters.
Yes.
There's jokes in every place that it can fit a joke in. It's serious, but it's also, Eddie Murphy is just such an amazing performer. And he was like 24, 25, he was young. Yeah. And he's just, I agree. It's this and Coming to America. They're like tied for me because he's so incredible.
I have rewatching this movie last night. I was hit by how many times I've seen this movie, and it was almost like a muscle memory where I was like, I know, I just could feel like I just remembered like every beat, like it just came back like really fast, and how much I love him in this movie. And last night I wrote in my notes, I'm like, he reminds me of Bugs Bunny in this movie. Like it just the jokes to get out of like every situation. And he just keeps like dressing like he doesn't dress up, but he keeps like playing different characters. And this movie just makes him such a star. 48 Hours made him like a huge star. Like he was a huge star after 48 Hours, a movie I watched last year for the first time in a long time. And it didn't hold up as well for me, but he is a movie star in it. Like he's so huge. And then this movie comes out and this movie made so much fucking money. It came out in December and it was still the #1 movie of the year. And then other movies were Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, Footloose, The Karate Kid, I think Purple Rain is in there. These are huge movies.
It was a great time for movies.
And Beverly Hills Cop was the #1 movie of the year. It made so much fucking money.
And then it went and I remember when it went out on video, VHS, you could own a copy and it was $79.95, which is like $150 or $200 today. It's a lot of freaking money. And I knew people who had it because they were rich. And then the Michael Jackson Thriller. And I was very jealous.
I remember,
very, very jealous.
Yeah, you could own the video Thriller, or you could just record it off MTV.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not like owning it.
No, it totally isn't.
You need that Beverly Hills prestige of owning it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to be
one
like
thing
that.
I was really impressed with this movie is, and I think like action comedy is a weird balance most of the time where one kind of leans too much on comedy and then the action's bad, or one leans too much on action and it's not really funny. But I think this movie kind of like really does a great job of blending the two, because the first action sequence, like the car chase on the cigarette truck,
it's amazing,
incredible.
And
they filmed it in Detroit. And
it's this was, I can't remember, was this a Jerry Bruckheimer movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
it feels like one.
It feels like that, and that scene in particular, like feels like something that would come out of a later, like a Bad Boys or like a later Jerry Bruckheimer movie. It's like that good. They don't skimp, because like as much as I like the first Rush Hour and like some of the rest of the trilogy is okay, like those movies, like their action sucks. For the most part.
Yeah.
And I think like Beverly Hills Cop does a good job of balancing the two. And I find it fascinating that Eddie Murphy like so wanted to be an action star later in his career and like go away from comedy. And that's kind of where the series evolves from. And it's so bizarre because he's like gifted as a comedian. And by the third movie, and I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place.
No, you're
but
fine. Do it.
By the third movie, he like there's stories where Bronson Pinchot's just like, yeah, Eddie was severely depressed and he refused to be funny. Like he could have been funny, but he like was willingly not flexing a funny muscle because he just was like, I just don't want to do this. I just want to be an action guy.
That's so sad.
That's really sad and weird. I'm glad he got out of that. I'm glad because that's, I think it was like, what's not Problem Child? I'm thinking of Gilbert Gottfried. What's the child movie that Eddie did in the mid 80s?
The Golden Child.
What a terrible movie that is. And I remember, and then Raw came out around the same time. And I was like, oh, what's happening to Eddie? Because he just was goofy and fun. I mean, you see in this movie, like, he has 2 outfit changes. Like, that's it. He's in sneakers. And you never really, he has so much ebullient energy around him when he smiles, and I love his laugh, like all the scenes. He just looks like he's having fun.
Yes.
And you can't take your eyes off him. He's just so amazing. And I can't believe it. We were going to talk about this, but like Sylvester Stallone was supposed to have this part and he didn't want to do comedy.
Weird.
Then he and Kurt Russell tried to do Tango and Cash, which is what you were talking before, like about action and comedy, and that they don't work together. It's tough to make them work together.
Yeah.
But Beverly Hills Cop does it perfectly.
I love the story about Don Simpson, who was a producer for a lot of action movies. He passed away in the 90s. He like Stallone was originally supposed to do a Beverly Hills Cop, and it's basically like debunked, but there was like a thing in IMDb trivia that the way that Don Simpson was trying to get Stallone off the movie was he like got him a spot in like this European like super erectile like clinical trial for like this medicine, and Stallone like wanted to be super hard and decided to do that over taking the movie.
Holy shit.
But that was debunked. I'm just gonna pretend it's real.
It said it was like, this wild rumor. Like some of the stuff about Stallone on the IMDb trivia for this movie is really funny. It's very much like only in Hollywood type of stories. But yeah, it was like there was some kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a pre-Viagra type of thing where it's like, this will make you like super European rock hard. Who's interested? And like only the elite of the elite can get it. And Stallone was just like, well, I'm down for that.
I'm not going to put a banana in the tailpipe. What's funny about that?
I put myself in the tailpipe.
If Stallone were in this, I forgot to mention the amazing Lisa Eilbacher in this movie.
Yes.
She's so adorable. Everybody drink.
Everybody drink.
Yeah, she's Jenny, right?
Yes.
Jenny.
Yeah.
I love her clothes. I think she always looks great. And I like the fact that she's really friends with these guys, and that's what with Eddie Murphy and what's the victim, the
Mikey.
first guy, Mikey. Yeah. I could picture the three of them as like, hoodlum friends when they were young, and they're sticking up for each other. If this was a Stallone movie, she would be his love interest.
Yes.
And she'd have nothing to do.
Absolutely.
It would be so cheesy. I really like the way they do it.
Me too. I like she wasn't a love interest, and yeah, she did feel like she was kind of one of the boys.
Yeah.
Like
you believed it.
Yeah, and I love when she made fun of his laugh. Like when she's yeah. His laugh is very contagious in this movie.
His smile is beautiful. I just love Eddie Murphy at this time. I mean, I love Eddie Murphy now too, of course, but this is just peak Murphy for me.
I like how just in the moment he is like all the time throughout the movie. He's just like, and he comes at the scenes from like a sideways type of way that you're not always expecting. Like the scene in particular that I keep thinking about is like when he's making up the alibi about like the strip club robbery before. And like you would think like just that Super Cops monologue is like the joke, but then like that joke lands, and then like it's even funnier because after the fact he's just like he's like, we would have gotten away with it. That lie was working.
Yeah, the super cop lie was working. I just want you to know, you fucked up a perfectly good lie.
You could tell John Aston said that he had to cover his face because he was laughing so hard. Like they just were improvising that scene. It's just, they're great. Like I love John Aston. Judge Reinhold is perfect in this movie. Like, you remember why you liked him?
Yes, it's the start of the Judge Reinhold Assance.
Yes.
That reminds me, I gotta watch Vice Versa again. It showed up on HBO Max, and I'm like, I saw that when I was 6. I need to watch this again.
Oh, I gotta pull that trigger. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yes, all the body switching movies.
I'm into body switching movies.
I remember body switching, but I also remember that it had like prominent placement of Moni Moni by Billy Idol. And for like young me, I'm like, this is a perfect movie. That's all this is.
And it's in Chicago. It takes place in Chicago.
Oh, does it? I didn't even remember that. Yeah.
Vice versa, yeah.
Okay.
But Beverly Hills Cop, I thought it is a hard R movie if you're not prepared for it. I think people think it's going to be like a silly comedy, and like it's intense. That scene where his friend is murdered, and all that stuff is. But then the guy who's the police chief, who was a police chief in real life but had acting experience, and just comes in barking at him.
Gilbert Hill. Yeah, I wrote it down because he's like, you could see there's no bit of my ass left. Like just the way he talks, so good. And he didn't chew it all out, boss. You still got a little ass left. Like it's just so good. It's so good. And I want to talk about that scene because Paul Reiser, who I only knew, I think at this point, did stand-up comedy, and Aliens had not come out, and he's so good at playing like these kinds of chumps, basically. But when he is walking around following Eddie Murphy around the office, and he's like, I am not listening to Jeffrey, but he is still talking. Why are you still talking? And the boss is like yelling at Eddie Murphy, and then Jeffrey, like, he's playing this character Jeffrey, and he's like tries to chime in, and he's like, Jeffrey, this is none of your fucking business. And he says this is not my locker. And he like walks away. Is this stupid throwaway line that always makes me laugh. And a friend and I used to do it when we were trying to butt into other people's business, and it's like, that's not your business. And then we would say, this is not my locker.
My locker.
What is his like role in the department? Because wasn't he in part 2 also?
He is. So I started watching part 2 before we were recording. And by the way, a movie that I'm sure I liked when I first saw it, and then watched again later and was like, this is stupid. And now I'm like, no, it's good. Like, it's watchable. He is a fellow cop, but he seems to be like a pencil pusher type paperwork guy, and Eddie Murphy kind of recruits him to do some like low stakes, like undercover work for him in the second one, like covering for him. But
he almost seems like, and I don't even think I don't know anything about police departments and like their hierarchy, but like he almost seems like if like the captain had like an executive assistant.
Yes.
So yeah,
like
I just think his swimming with sharks. This stapler does more work around here than you. Oh my god, that movie! Oh my god,
pick up.
We need to put that movie on the list.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, so Axel's friend gets shot. I do love this stuff with his friend. Like, his friend breaks into his house, and and he's eating the sandwich, and he's like, why don't you get a better lock? I don't need a lock. I have a pistol. And their relationship it feels very authentic. I really like how they handle the relationships in this movie.
Yeah.
And after Mikey is killed, he, decides he's going to take some vacation and absolutely not work on the case, which means he's totally going to work on the case. And he has the like world's shittiest Chevy Nova that somehow makes it to Beverly Hills.
I actually asked Alexa how long it would take to do that. It was like a day and a half if you don't stop. And I'm like, that car's not going to make it.
No.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But I like it that he arrives in a shitty car.
Yeah, he needs to. He needs to. He needs to drive around in his shitty car so he stands out even more. And I didn't know shit about Beverly Hills when I first saw this movie. Like, Beverly Hills 90210 was not a thing. And so it did seem like a whole other world when I first saw this movie.
Have you been there?
I don't think so. No.
It is like that.
Yeah, I've never been there. Every time I've been on vacation to Los Angeles, I've never like gone to Rodeo Drive or anything like that. This kind of makes me want to, just to like sightsee. But I definitely Googled how much the hotel room would be from $1984 to $2021, and it was like $650 a night.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, so he's staying at the Disneyland hotel, okay?
Yeah. And he does a great double take when they tell him the price. He just stares at him like, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, the Michael Jackson scene where he gets the hotel room, like there's so many things that I just like. He has like the meltdown to get the room.
Yeah.
And
I'm just a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
Small reporter.
The only time they refer to his race. He refers to it. Nobody else does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was a big deal.
It stresses me out when he orders room service for Judge Reinhold and John Ashton. And then he's just like, yeah, and I don't know, a couple of desserts. And I'm just like, because like I hate in movies when people will go to a bar and they're like, I'll have a beer. I'm like, that never happens.
That doesn't happen. You
have to specify. And the scene like is so like, detailed, where it's just like this shrimp sandwich and like poached salmon with like with potatoes or whatever. And then he's just like, I don't know, and a couple of desserts. I'm like, just finish it. Just finish.
Yeah. Or no dessert. Just end it there. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not how room service works.
Yeah. They don't just wing it. So no. That's such a small nitpick, though, this movie. Oh, and the only thing I think I love more than this movie is this movie's soundtrack.
Oh, my God.
Isn't it the best?
It's the best.
I bought the LP of this, like an original LP at like a T-shirt store like 10 years ago for $1. And then just on a whim, like put it on and was like, oh, and then like during the pandemic, whenever I was watching like that 60 game like baseball season in 2020, I would turn the volume down on the White Sox games and just listen to records. And I would listen to the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack maybe like every other game.
Oh my God.
Great.
That's amazing.
Wow. It was great.
What song's your favorite?
There's so many. I mean, Neutron Dance is great. Stir It Up is great. Don't Get Stopped in Beverly Hills is great. Rock and Roll Me Again is great. Axel F is great. I mean, it's a soundtrack where I think it's maybe like 10 songs. I think there's legitimately like 8 or 9 good songs on there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You didn't mention The Heat Is On.
The Heat Is On. And yeah, there's like nothing better than the movie starting and then it just like blaring The Heat Is On.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and that saxophone.
And isn't Beverly Hills Cop 2 Shakedown by the Bob Seger one?
Yes, it is.
I mean, like these movies. Yeah, I mean, I call them like A1 steak sauce songs. It's just like, it's just like, this is macho shit. Just pour it on the steak, man. Just pour it on the steak.
Yeah, just singers from Detroit. Like, just put them on there. Yeah, and it opens up and it's so amazing. The Heat Is On. And then I love the scene where they go to the strip club. I think I've watched it like 3 or 4 times because I laughed super hard. I love sexy, nasty girl.
Nasty girl,
Vanity.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great song, great stripper song. I love that whole scene. I just think it's, and that's another thing. Like it's got action to it, and it's funny, and it's got some tension that's believable.
It's got some boobs.
It's got boobs, but like 80s boobs.
Yeah, nothing better than 80s boobs. What? I got an important question for both of you. What is your, if there was only like one stripper song you could take with you on a desert island, what stripper song would it be?
This is a really good question.
I like Nasty Girl, but probably Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's a Def Leppard. It's got a
See, I think
it's got it all.
Whenever I talk about stripper songs, I'm always like, it's like girls. But I think I'm like, maybe I Want Your Sex by George Michael. I'm like,
that's a good one.
I'm like, I like that. I like that song.
I heard the song, this was maybe like 10 or 15 years ago. I heard the song Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry on the radio, and I was like, I should go to a strip club.
well, quid pro quos, Adam, what would be your stripper song?
Mm-hmm.
No, Crazy
Magic
Bitch.
Mike
by
it is.
Yeah.
Buck Cherry.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like if I were a stripper,
Yes,
like what would the
yes,
song
Magic
be?
Mike this, yeah.
Oh God. I don't know, maybe like the climax score for Aliens. No, I don't know.
That's some like, and it's like super dramatic. You could perform at that
No,
club
how
in
about,
Flashdance.
We all know it's Heat of the Night.
Oh no, I got it. Nobody rides for free from Point Break.
That's so funny. See, I think if I was going to work as a stripper, I would probably do like, Cats in the Cradle. Just make everyone sob.
Just make everybody sob in their
Father
Yeah,
and
and
Son
then-
by Cat Stevens.
and then make them like pay me to stop the song. Stop! Your killer is a boner killer.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Guns N' Roses, like
True.
that 80s. Yeah. Like Sweet Child of Mine or Paradise City would be a good one.
That's
I'm
true.
thinking about this way too much.
I know.
Yeah.
I've got a playlist to make after this.
So
You know what?
stripper songs.
There's another thing in the strip club scene that makes me laugh, which is, of course, they order club sodas, and he orders like a whiskey and soda or something, and then he says to the waitress, like, "Don't mix up these drinks, because if I drink club soda, I'll throw up."
It's okay if your dick gets hard. It's supposed to.
And the way he treats Billy in this
Yeah.
movie is like, Billy is obviously like the newbie, like adorable moron, everybody drink moron. So it's like, hey Billy, like here's $1, like go to the arcade, Billy. Like, it's like put this in her G-string while he like talks business with John Aston's character, and it, what are coffee grounds for, all that stuff. Well, and then it's Billy, I think she likes you, and he's like, you think so? Like, he's
There's no doubt in my mind.
I would, by the way, I would totally date Billy in real life. Like, I was like, yeah.
Fucking A.
I was like, that's my type. Tall goofball. I'm in.
Yeah.
I like it. He's so cute.
What happened to Judge Reinhold? Because like
Good
he was,
question.
So I mean, like, because he was like comedy actor in demand throughout the larger part of the 80s, and then it seemed like he went away and then just showed up in the Santa Claus, and like that was it. Like he was like just in those movies, and there's not much else. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's strange because I think he's talented. I think he's really funny.
Yeah, I thought you would have gotten like that elder statesman like comedy run or something like that, where like, people who grew up on him like now make movies and want to cast him and things. I don't know.
I would think he'd be like on a sitcom, like the Goldbergs or something. You know,
the last thing I remember him in was like an episode of Seinfeld. He was the close talker. I don't know if you guys ever watched. Like that's what I remember him from. But now I'm gonna look up his filmography here. He was in something called Bad Grandmas.
That sounds good.
That.
I'm like, sure. Yes, a bunch of Santa Claus movies. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't do that much, does he? That's weird.
Yeah.
It looks like he does voiceover work too. It's like Teen Titans, Boondocks, stuff like that. All right. Well, there you go. But yeah, I'm kind of curious why that is. Maybe he's tough to work with.
I hope not.
I hope not. That would bum me out.
No, that would really bum me out because I think he'd be nice. He would be a nice person.
I hope so. Let's just say he is.
He is.
Going back to a movie from '84 also like allows me to play one of my favorite like movie games, which is just like, wow, Ronny Cox is still alive. Where it's just like you see these guys who are, they look like they're like pushing 70 almost, even though they're not. I mean, like obviously Ronny Cox just is like an old looking dude, even though he was probably like in his 40s in this. But I had that with I was watching New Jack City recently, and I saw like Bill Cobbs, and I'm just like, Bill Cobbs was 47 when New Jack City.
Yeah.
And then I looked, I'm like, he's still alive.
Well,
this is amazing.
There's the actors that are and there's not just actors, there's people like born old. You know, like Wilford Brimley. It's like, dude, what? Like, that dude was always old. Like, always super old.
Robert Shaw in Jaws.
Yes.
He was 46 when he did Jaws. And not kidding. Look that shit up. Yeah. But that's what drinking does to you, too. That was a hard-living generation.
Very true.
Right.
I love Ronny Cox in this movie.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
We did.
He's so good at like that boss type guy where it's like he could either like just by, you know, changing a thing here or there, like he could either be like the great captain from Beverly Hills Cop, or he could be like corporate scum like RoboCop and Total Recall. Yeah.
Yeah, we did RoboCop a couple months ago, and you know, he's such a scumbag in that movie. And in this one, I like that he starts as that kind of character where you're just like, ugh, what a, you know, like by the book, hard ass, like kind of person. And then there's just a little twist where he's just like, well, tell me what you know. Like, he is a good cop. He wants to do the right thing, but he also wants to do it by the book. And of course, he throws the book out at the end with his amazing lie. But I really like him in this movie.
I do too.
I like the guy who plays Victor Maitland. I think is super scary.
He is.
Like, that works too. Like the whole mystery and the bad guy. He looks like he could fuck you up and not break a sweat.
Yeah, he's creepy. He I read in the trivia that like he hates this movie, which is crazy to me because I've seen some of his other movies and they're so much worse than
You're
but
like,
he's a good villain. Yeah. I think he was the bad guy in Fair Game with William Baldwin and Cindy Crawford.
Oh my God.
We need that on our list.
All right, I'm writing it down.
I at the beginning of the pandemic, like that March, I was just like, I'm gonna watch like every 90s action movie that I've meant to see but never have seen. And yeah, Fair Game was on that list for sure. It was really bad.
Nice.
The best discovery of that month was Drop Zone, which is a movie I absolutely adore.
And that's the one with Wesley Snipes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And it's got Toad the Wet Sprocket song on the soundtrack if you needed to know that it was from 1994.
Wes, you guys just on this movie, you just did New Jack City, and you were talking about Wesley Snipes, and that's another one where he's so talented, and you said he also was like he just wanted to be an action star.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Spike Lee where like they were asking him, you know, because he was so good in Mo Better Blues, like why they didn't work together again until I think it was Chirac.
Yeah.
And Spike Lee just said like, yeah, it was always Wesley Snipes' intent to become like a Stallone Schwarzenegger type. Like he always wanted to be like a premier action star, and like the other stuff, like he's a talented actor so he can like do comedy and drama, but like his heart lies in doing action,
which is insane because he's so funny and he should be doing more drama too. But he's also apparently nuts.
Well, that's the thing. Like almost all of those like 80s, 90s action stars, like the funny thing is just like you hear like the villains from those movies are like sweetie pies, and then like all the action heroes are like either narcissistic or crazy or like or Steven Seagal. Where it's like a whole other level. Yeah. So, yeah.
I wonder why. Why do these two actors who are so good at one thing, why are they so desperate to push it aside to be action stars? I'm like, is it just because action stars seem so badass and they're like, I want to be badass? Or is it money? Because those movies make a lot of money?
Eddie Murphy made money doing anything he wanted in the 80s. Yeah. So I think he was like, I've done comedy. I've conquered it. So I want to... And he's a great dramatic actor. And I love him in Nutty Professor. I love the Nutty Professor. I think he's really strong as an actor, but he also has 10 kids and how many ex-wives, and he's just It's a lot of fame he dealt with. I mean, because you were born yet, Adam. Like I can't tell you how famous Eddie Murphy was. He was he was like Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Bruce Springsteen. Like they had this level, Madonna at the time. They had a level of fame that's just like hard to explain now. But he was everywhere.
I caught up to him like late 80s. So I think like the first time I really ever was paying attention was people were like dragging him for like Harlem Nights and saying like how hubristic it was because he was like starring and directing and writing and producing and things like that. And so it's funny because like when I saw him in like Nutty Professor and everybody was just like, oh, this is like a giant comeback for him. I'm just like, it was odd for me to place it just in his career because I was like, oh, he's just always been in bad movies, right? It's like,
exactly.
Yeah, with the exception of like one or two here and there. But he did an action comedy that I think is super underrated called Metro. Have either of you seen that?
I have seen Metro, but not since the theater.
San Francisco.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, see, I need to watch it. It's a San Francisco movie, right?
No, but it's got Michael Wincott, who's like a great villain.
Love Michael Wincott.
He's the bad guy. Unfortunately, it has Michael Rappaport in it, but that's okay. But I think Eddie Murphy's like really, that's definitely a movie where he's like trying to push the action part of it more than the comedy, and I think it's a really good movie.
Maybe I put that on my list. Yeah,
writing it down.
Yeah. I'll take that over Beverly Hills Cop 2 and 3, I think.
Okay.
Because I like 2 enough, but 2 I always put into like the Bad Boys 2
it's exactly
realm where I'm just like, this is so mean-spirited, but it's so well made.
Yeah.
And like I kind of have to sort of negotiate it in my brain where it's like, you know, you're not a bad person for enjoying this.
Yeah. I started watching it this morning and I was like, it is way more mean-spirited, but it's also like super watchable. And I still like in the second one, they really lean into the friendship between Axel and Ronny Cox.
Great friends with them.
Yeah. And Ronny Cox character and John Aston and Judge Reinhold, like they all like go fishing together and they're like friends, and I like how they lean into that, and I think it's handled really well. But ultimately the movie's like it's a more, right? So it's like more violence, more blood, more guns, like pretty shitty to women, like
very shitty women.
Yeah.
It's a Tony Scott movie. Oh, rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. Gilbert Gottfried is hilarious. No, bitch. Like that scene always cracks me up.
I like your impression of Gilbert Gottfried always. It's so good.
My parents loved Beverly Hills. They loved the first one, of course, but they loved number 2, and they owned a copy of it, and they would play it all the time. My parents were repeaters. They could watch a thing over and over again. And so some of these scenes, it just reminds me of my mom and dad. And my mom would do that all the time. Bitch.
Oh my God. Why 2? Why the second one? What is it?
I cannot tell you, but my parents and they would just say, Eddie Murphy, he's so funny. He's got so much confidence. It's just so wonderful to watch him. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start repeating that. Give me the confidence of Axel Foley. God grant me the confidence of Axel Foley right now in this meeting.
Yes.
Speaking of like just how cool Eddie Murphy can be, like I do remember now I was like 5 when Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out, and I was at the mall, and there was like this mall cinema. It was like a 5-screen theater, and they would always like it was always in one of those poster frames where it was like lit up with lighting, so like the posters like really popped. And like that Beverly Hills 2 Cop poster is so colorful and like so like just great to look at. I remember with that, like I would go up to it and just gawk at it, and my mom would be like, come on, Adam, we gotta go shopping. And I'm just like, but it's Showtime. I'm like, that's Mr. Showtime. I'm like, this is Hollywood right here.
Did you sing Shakedown while you stared at it?
In my brain, it was all Shakedown all the time. Yeah. But I just was like, I remember just being like, that and like the poster for Masters of the Universe and the poster for Wishmaster, just being gobsmacked in the theater. Seeing them.
Which one has a better poster, Beverly Hills Cop 2 or that Chinese version of Running Scared?
Well, nothing tops that.
That poster's amazing.
Yeah.
Never forget it.
Do you like Beverly Hills Cop or Running Scared more?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's funnier.
Yeah. Although I think Eddie Murphy would be great in Running. Eddie Murphy would be great in Running Scared, and I think Gregory Hines or Billy Crystal could have worked also in Beverly Hills Cop.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is but I don't think Billy Crystal
not as well.
Not as well. Correct.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about Billy Crystal because we talked about this when we all hung out together last fall at Jan and JB's house.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about Mr. Saturday Night, and it's on Broadway right now. And I've been toying, do I watch the original? Do I go back? We're talking about hubris. Then Billy Crystal wrote, directed, and this whole, it was like 40.
This year, I'm going to host the Oscars and win one. That's what that movie was.
Can I ask a favor, Margo? I was going to. So I'm starting a series of articles for this movie this summer of movies I've wanted to see since I was a child and never caught up to that are like grown-up movies. And Mr. Saturday Night is on that list. Will you wait and watch it with me and then write about it with me?
Yes.
That would be so fun.
And Sonia, you're invited as well. Because we need a triple header for Saturday night.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's the Helen Hunt of it. I think that there's all of this that's attached to it that I think, let's do it together.
I have never, I don't even know if I've seen Mr. Saturday Night all the way through.
It's got a fun, I remember that being another poster where I was like, this is Hollywood. This is Showtime.
So funny.
Did you ever see Here Today? I think we talked about this at Jan and John also. But did you see Billy Crystal's most recent movie?
No.
What's it about?
It's like he's basically like this comedy legend who's like a writer on SNL, like an SNL type show now. And like all the other writers are young, so they're trying to kind of like push him out and everything. But he starts to like get basically like a form of dementia, and like he meets up with Tiffany Haddish, I think, like she wins like some auction to like have lunch with him, and then they become friends from that. But the reason I bring this up is that movie has the funniest like tossed off like last line I think of any movie, where I'm sorry to everybody. I'm going to spoil.
I think everyone can.
No, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the movie, he goes missing. Like they can't find him. So his family is like looking for him, and Tiffany Haddish is there because she's kind of like a new member of the family, like a surrogate member of the family. And they find him, and he's on this beach. And then they basically are like, we're going to have to take care of you now, but that's okay. We love you. We're going to enjoy the time that we have today. Some days are good. Some days are bad. So then they do this like crane shot, like off of them on the beach. And then all of a sudden there's like a voiceover at Tiffany Haddish just says like, goodbye, Billy. Like, oh, he's dead now.
Oh my God.
I remember this. I remember you telling us this story.
Because you think it's basically gonna be like, oh, okay, it's not gonna be the same life, but he's got family around him, and like it's like they didn't trust the audience to know that he was going to eventually pass away. So they're like, we need to indicate that he's like gonna die like real soon.
Maybe Tiffany Haddish had to go to a recording studio and just say bye, Billy.
Yeah, she's like, I forgot what his character's name is, but she's like, yeah, bye, Billy.
I love the idea that you're like, they didn't trust the audience to know that eventually he's going to die. And I'm like, that should be true of all characters. So maybe every movie should end that way. Goodbye, Axel.
That would be great. That would be great. Where it's like the end of Shaft, and then there's like a title card, and it's like Shaft lived for 36 more years, and then passed away on February 7th, 2038. But it's like he lived a long and happy life, and he was surrounded by family, and it's just like Shaft.
Goodbye, Shaft.
Yeah.
We're just talking about Shaft.
Yeah.
You watch, it's like you watch The Rocketeer, and then there's like, where are they now credits?
Oh my God, a Where Are They Now credit would be great for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
That I see. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the Where Are They Now portion of movies. Except I don't like it in kids movies, because they always do, especially when it's like a flashback to my childhood type movie like The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Because it's always like every kid did something like kind of spectacular with their lives, and it's never like this person's a brand manager.
Right.
It's like this person went on to like, be a LA Dodgers legend, or this person like invented the mini mall, and it's never like this guy, like is happy being a gardener. It's like it's nothing like that. Yeah.
And this person joined the content design team.
Yes,
at a tech company. Yay.
Yeah.
And the littlest one, he winds up marrying the hot lifeguard.
Mm-hmm. The
love
kid
that
with
movie.
glasses always is like a tech guru. There's
or he's great in the sack. Like older, like when he gets older, he's gonna hot girlfriends.
Yeah, it's like it. I feel bad for Hollywood not knowing that there's like tons of children in the Midwest with glasses who are dumb as shit, and are not going to be like tech gurus with hot wives later. They're just going to be regular guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk
Beverly Hills
about?
Cop.
Yeah.
Yes, I just say yes.
Well, do we want to talk about Beverly Hills Cop? Nah, we're done. No, I'm just teasing. So we get these two other cops at one point that are assigned to follow Axel, and that's when we get the "we're not going to fall for the banana and the tailpipe" discussion. And then he ditches them at a red light, and there's a lot of like Eddie Murphy pretending to be other people to get into places. And so we have him pretending to deliver flowers at one point, and then we get this like he pretends to be Victor Maitland's gay lover to like get into a private club.
It's a little mincy, yes.
It's a little mincy, but it's super
funny.
Super 80s, like so
it's
80s.
Very 80s, but he could have gone way over the top with it. I
think it's weird
much more grounded.
Yeah, it's weird how they handle some of that, because there are like there's like because the whole friendship between James Russo's character and Eddie Murphy at the beginning, it's like there's no sense of gay panic at all or anything like that. Even though like it's like these two men who like really do, like they say like I love you to each other, like they deeply care about one another. But then there's like, Damon Wayans doing like an elevated version and things like that, or like Eddie Murphy when he's trying to get into like the club. And I always loved the captain of that snobby like Beverly Hills captain, where he's like so upset that Axel like ruined the brunch at that club.
Is this the man who ruined the buffet at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel?
Yeah, I love that part. Yeah.
Well, and there's the Bronson Pinchot stuff where,
he's genius in this. He's so funny.
I sold one yesterday. Get the fuck out. No, I did sell it yesterday. He's so funny.
He's like, no, I cannot. Yeah, that's the role that Belky, the launch Belky we're talking about.
Yeah.
What was the, I can't remember if it's in 2 or 3. I thought it was in 1, but I love the part where somebody calls him Serge instead of Serge. And he's just like, it's not Surge like a detergent.
I think it might be in the second one.
Okay, yeah.
I like in this one, he's like, what is this pertaining?
regarding, it's meaning.
Ahmed, Ahmed,
Foley.
Yeah. I like when he offers Judge Reinhold the espresso with the lemon twist, and then he says he's like, as long as it's not too much trouble, and he's like, why the fuck would it be any
He's
trouble?
like,
don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
It's so funny.
No, it's ridiculous. I sold it yesterday. Like, it's just, oh my God. I used to love Perfect Strangers.
I did too, because it was in Chicago. I used to love that.
There was just so much like really funny physical comedy on that show. I used to love it. I was quite
I like
into
the dance.
And then Marklin Baker did like Peter Pan peanut butter commercials. And I remember being like, Mom, I think we need to switch to Peter Pan peanut butter. And she's like, no, we don't like that. And I'm just like, but fine. I can't tell you why I want it, but like, it's because
no Skippy, please.
Yeah,
you're all, but the guy from Perfect Strangers guy, he likes it. And I like him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Serge. It's not Serge. Sarge.
Why don't you button up? That's not sexy at all.
No, it's not. No, it's not sexy. There's so many little scenes that are so like even just.
And
like,
that's. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, that's why how Eddie Murphy is so great, because he lets other people be funny and he just reacts to it.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps it grounded the whole time. He should have been nominated for an Oscar. I swear to God. I think he's that good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comedy
I wish he would have won for Dreamgirls.
Yeah. I'm like, who?
That would have been cooler than Alan Arkin winning, who is really good at just playing Alan Arkin all the time.
This is true. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot who won that year. Yeah. I'm like, I like Little Miss Sunshine. I get like it's totally so like basic indie type thing, but I still liked it. But yeah, I was like, that was one of those we like Alan Arkin awards. It wasn't really for that role.
And then I think he got nominated for Argo, and I'm just like, you guys just really like Alan Arkin, don't you?
Yeah.
I am an Arkin fan. So
he's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think there was just too many years like around that time where I'm just like, he's just asked to do the same thing, and that was it. But yeah, but he's good.
So I want to talk about this part because I saw this in the theater, and there's this part of the movie where Axel convinces Billy to like go to the warehouse and intercept the shipment. There's a whole thing about like bonds and cocaine and all that. That's fine. Whatever. We don't have to talk about that. But like they're going to the warehouse. They get Jenny. They all go. And I remember Axel and Jenny go in, and then Victor Maitland and his people, such a villain name. Like I still remember that name, even though I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. I was like, yes, that's Victor Maitland. I remember him. When Billy is waiting outside and the villains are like going in, the theater I was in, people were screaming, Billy, go in! Like they were losing their minds. And like, you know, they go in there, they like beat up Axel and they take Jenny and put her in the car, and Billy's just sitting in the car going, oh, what am I going to do? I don't know. And people were screaming in the theater. Like, go in, do something. Like, I was like, everything's going to be okay, you guys. Like, trust me, the movie's not going to end with, and then Axel Foley was murdered. Like,
and Judge Reinhold's dead. It's like,
like everybody's dead.
Tarantino version of this.
Yeah, everybody dies except for Victor Maitland. Like, I'm like, no, it's going to be okay, you guys. But everyone lost their minds. They really cared about Axel. They didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
There's good tension in here.
Yeah, so they.
That's why. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say that's why at the beginning of the movie they should list like all the character names and the actors, and then say like when that character will die. So that way you know, like, oh, but he's the opening credits said he's not going to die at the end of the movie. He's going to die like Shaft, like in 50 years. So
yes,
it's okay.
It's like a.
So they can relax.
It's like it's like the 6 Feet Under ending for every movie. Yeah. Basically, it's what we need to have closure. I like it, but I
would love to have the 6 Feet Under ending, but like for the Mighty Ducks.
And then all the sequels after, you're like, I don't need to see that. I already know how it ends. I got it.
Yeah.
But they have to do the whole thing where they take Jenny because they have to go back to Victor's estate so that they can kill a bunch of people. So many people get killed. And they also have this like scene where Taggart is trying to get over a wall. And like Billy's trying to like lift him up over the wall. And then eventually Billy just walks around the wall. And I'm like, why didn't Taggart just walk around the wall? Like, it's so, I'm like, fine. I'm like, and I was like, this movie's stupid. And then I turned it off. Like, no, it's fine. But this part is like so 80s action movie because it's just bullets flying around. Everyone's a bad shot except for Billy, who apparently is a sharpshooter. And
also they're like not like, they're still like joking around and like not that stressed out that like people are like doing round after round of machine gun fire in their direction.
It's exactly,
yeah, he's being shot at, but he still takes the time to laugh at Taggart trying to get over a wall.
Yeah. And also, like, you know, his best friend is kidnapped and, like, maybe dead in that house. And he's just like, that guy can't get over a wall.
Well, he's savoring the moment.
Yeah, he savors the moments. That's what you got to love about Axel. He's just savoring the moments.
Yeah.
But there's so much murder in this thing.
It's an R-rated movie.
It is. It's just so much. And of course, like, now we get, like, Ronny Cox is all in and he starts covering for them. And I like how it ends. I like that Ronny Cox and Axel shoot the guy together. Victor Maitland gets, like, not only does he get shot like many times, then he falls downstairs like on top of it, and I'm surprised there weren't like wild dogs at the bottom of the stairs like ripping his body up, and then like a shark comes out, or it's like he's dead, everybody, he's not gonna make it. And then Ronny Cox makes up this like really cool lie to cover for everybody, and it's such a good little tidy ending.
It's a good little movie. There's no wasted scenes. Like I said, all of it fits. It's super funny. It's got, you know, like a good action, great action sequence at the beginning, especially. The strip club scene is great. The robbery and all that shit. I just loved it. And the soundtrack is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's just the little things that when you see it the first time, there's like the really big jokes that you remember. And every time you watch it, I just pick up different jokes. And this time it was the fact that the cops are like paying for the room, and then he charged like money is no object, and he, you know, put it on my tab or whatever, and like gives them robes, like, and how Billy is so very touched by the robe was really funny to me. It's like, you're a good cop and you saved my life and I love you, and he gives him the robe and it looks like he's gonna cry, and he said, "Thank you, Axel." Like,
I bet those are nice robes.
I bet they are.
I bet they're really soft.
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eBay that shit.
From Mumford Phys Ed. It's gonna be Mumford Phys Ed.
I need a Mumford Phys Ed shirt. I'm writing that down now.
I was checking out Etsy just before you called. I was gonna get one.
Yeah, that was another like so I'm on the trivia. It says Axel Foley's t-shirt is from Mumford, a real life Detroit area school that one of the filmmakers attended. When the film came out, the school got orders for the shirts from customers all over the world.
This makes sense.
That's so great.
I hope they made a shit ton of money.
Yeah. And nobody embezzled it. We need Beverly Hills Cop back again. Bring him back to Detroit.
I'm like, I wouldn't be, well, they're probably talking about, I thought I saw that
there is one. Yeah, they're going to make it for Netflix.
Okay.
Is that still happening? Because I heard, like, I think it was like Gerard Carmichael was supposed to be in it, or I don't know.
Let me check. It was.
Oh my gosh! It said, here's a story just came out on the 8th this month, April this 8th. It said finds new director in Mark Malloy. Well, who's that?
I haven't heard of him. Okay, according to Stephen Burkoff in a UK newspaper interview, Stallone quit the film because of disagreements about the orange juice for his trailer.
I actually believe that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
So besides...
I'm trying to find the one with Don Simpson. I will get back to you in a second.
Besides Eddie Murphy, who is the MVP in this movie?
Judge Reinhold? Or or Bronson Pinchot.
That's a good pick.
It's Serge or Billy. It's one or the other.
What do you think, Adam?
I don't know. There's like, it's a really good ensemble where I don't think like anybody is like peacocking because they know like Eddie Murphy's sort of the diamond and they're kind of the setting, but like probably Judge Reinhold.
I think so too.
Because before this, he was just in Fast Times or more or less, and like I think that and Gremlins.
Right.
So like I think this kind of almost is like what sort of codifies the Judge Reinhold part.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is.
That was my pick too.
Yeah.
Margo, did you say what your favorite song on the soundtrack was?
Oh, it's probably Neutron Dance. I do love that fucking song.
I love the Pointer Sisters.
I love the Pointer Sisters. I mean, yeah, Jinx. Yeah, Yell Me a Coke. I love the Pointer Sisters. I miss them.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. A rumor was spread by producer Don Simpson regarding Sylvester Stallone's participation in the film. When Simpson wanted to find a covert way to kick Stallone off the project, he pulled strings so Stallone could participate in a European medical trial that was aimed to create super erectile capabilities for men. And the project immediately cast Eddie Murphy in the lead role and moved on once Stallone went overseas.
I don't care if people say it's not true. That's what I'm choosing to believe.
Yeah.
There's some truthiness to that.
There's so many great like rumors and weird set stories involving Sylvester Stallone. Like I just like the Lords of Dogtown trivia. Like if you've never read that, which who hasn't? Like,
I read it every night before bed.
Yeah, it has some of the funniest like anecdotes that you could ever read. That and The Abyss. Did you ever hear about the stuff with Ed Harris on The Abyss?
No.
I remember when they were filming it, like there was so much trouble on the set. Yeah. It was going to be a big bomb.
What about
Ed Harris?
Ed Harris apparently was like eating a ton of cabbage or spinach or something like that for some reason. I think it was like part of his diet at the time. And he like threw up inside the helmet like while he was underwater, and they had to like bring him up and like it was the cabbage or the spinach was giving him such bad gas that he farted so hard that it smelled so bad that he made himself throw up inside
oh my god
inside of his suit, and he threw up all over his mask and like the inside of the suit. And they had to bring him up and like change him out of his clothes and like redress him and everything. And James Cameron basically like chewed his ass out.
And now I want to see
just betraying you.
I want to see a version of Jackass where Ed Harris joins them. That's totally a Jackass stunt.
He's like, I'm Ed Harris and this is The Abyss. And then they just show him for 30 seconds, like eating a ton of cabbage.
He just like slowly descends into
You cannot ruin my love of The Abyss, but you're pretty close to doing it right now.
I like The Abyss. I wasn't trying to ruin it.
No. I'm just teasing. I do love The Abyss. That goes in my category of accidentally romantic movies. The Abyss and Poltergeist.
I can see that. Yeah.
I love them. So Beverly Hills Cop was nominated for Best Original Screenplay. So Eddie Murphy wasn't nominated, but the screenplay was nominated. Which I wonder, do you think that's fair? Because probably the best stuff was ad-lib by Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But that's fine. I'm always happy to see a comedy nominated. Splash was also nominated that year.
I love Splash.
It's
I'm a
real
chick.
good. Yeah.
It's so good.
I like it. Do dudes not like Splash? I would think they do.
Dudes like Splash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've heard some anti-Splash stuff in my life. Excuse me.
What?
That's hard to say fast.
Those people are monsters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sorry about their cold, dead hearts.
Yeah,
Places in the Heart won for Best Original Screenplay, which I'm sure everybody loves and owns and watches all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop won the Best Favorite Motion Picture at the People's Choice Awards.
Of course it did.
And it was nominated for Golden Globes for Eddie Murphy for Best Actor and Best Comedy or Musical. But it did not win.
What was funnier God, there were a lot of good movies that year. I'm like, what beat that movie? But I mean, Ghostbusters was probably in there.
Let's see. Romancing the Stone.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Listen to this category. Best Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical. Romancing the Stone, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Mickey and Maude, and Splash. That's a good year.
That is a good year, except for Mickey and Maude.
I was just going to say,
I've never seen Mickey and Maude.
I suspect Mickey and Maude does not hold up.
All the others are great.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love this, though. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical. The 4 gentlemen who did not win are Steve Martin for All of Me, Robin Williams for Moscow on the Hudson, Bill Murray for Ghostbusters, Eddie Murphy for Beverly Hills Cop. The winner was Dudley Moore for Mickey and Maude.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Golden Globes were always a mess.
We talked about Dudley Moore for some reason on this show about there was this thing in the 80s where they were trying to make Dudley Moore like a sex symbol, because and it was like, he did all these Blake Edwards movies, and I think Mickey and Maude was one of those Blake Edwards movies. So it was like 10 and Mickey and Maude, and there's something else in there. What was it?
Arthur.
Yes, that's why we didn't do an episode on Arthur, but Arthur came up and we were talking about it. And I was like, I'm sorry, like Dudley Moore is really talented and he's really funny, but I was never like, I want to hit that. Like Dudley Moore does not invoke those kinds of feelings in me, but what do I
Not
know?
even when he was pretending to be Kirk Cameron in the body swap comedy like Son?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh my God.
I just figured like if you didn't want to hit Dudley Moore like normal, you would want him as pretending to be Kirk Cameron.
It's like no on the outside and the inside. No, thank you. Hard pass. So I have 2 lists for us. I have other movies that were released in December 1984, or I have Roger Ebert's top 10 movies of 1984. Or both. Both? All right.
Yeah.
Let's do Ebert's list first then. Number 10 was Purple Rain.
Amazing.
Okay. I love that was on his list.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 was Choose Me.
I don't even know it.
I don't know that one, to be honest. Oh, by the way, side by side here was Siskel's, and Siskel's number 9 was Mickey and Maude.
Good point.
Yeah.
Oh, Siskel. Okay, number 8, Stranger Than Paradise.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that one.
I need to see it. It's Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, yes. Okay. Number 7 was The Killing Fields.
Never
it's a real uplifting movie.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's fun.
Hilarious. I think we all know where we were when we saw Secret Honor, which is number 6. I don't know that one either.
I don't even know that either.
Number 5 is The Cotton Club.
It's okay.
I've never seen it.
That one's over on Siskel's list too. How is this one only number 4? Spinal Tap.
I love Spinal Tap.
So good.
That's a good movie.
I'm like,
I'm glad that they liked it like right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a movie that would take a couple of years, but I guess not. So
he got it. Number 3 is something called Love Streams. Don't know it. Number 2.
It sounds like a P movie.
It does. Number 2 is Paris, Texas.
It's supposed to be good. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
And then number 1 is Amadeus.
I do like Amadeus.
Yeah.
It's a little long, but I like it. Yeah.
That's another one I need to see.
I think you'd like it.
1984. Yeah.
And here's the other movies that came out the same time as Beverly Hills Cop. 2010.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
I think I've only seen part of it on like cable when I was pretty young. So
I hear it's respectable, but it's like 2001 is such a thing that's
right.
like, you know, I never felt like I needed to watch a sequel to it.
Mm-mm.
We could do the 6 Feet Under version.
I just want to know where when do the characters die? That's all I need to know.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
City Heat. That's with
Is that Burt Reynolds?
Yes, it's Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
God,
that seems like a
goes on that set. Oh my God.
This is a total dad movie. My dad 100% liked City Heat. Like, they made a movie just for my dad. He loves this stuff. Dune, the original Dune, came out in 1984.
I tried watching it, but I couldn't get through it.
It's such a mess.
Yeah.
A Passage to India.
Nope.
I've heard of it.
I'm laughing.
Wow. Sonia.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. 5 stars. Starman.
Oh, I love Starman.
Starman's great.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
need
movie.
to see it. I've never seen it. I'm so bad at this time. This episode with these 84 movies.
Starman is legit great, and that's been on our list for a long time.
Okay.
Maybe you've seen this one, Breakin' 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah,
I know Van Damme's in one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so 80s. It's like, let's all put on a show to save the community center. It's bananas. Birdie?
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Is that Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage, excuse me, and friend of the show, Matthew Modine. He liked one of our tweets once. No, it's one of our shows. It's
when we did the Pacific Heights, and he liked it, and we're like, he didn't listen to the episode.
Because we were mocking him.
Yeah, and then we were like, "Don't worry, he'll listen to the Married to the Mob one." And I think that was the one that we lost.
Yes, it's our lost. Yeah. That's the lost episode.
And it's like nothing but us praising Matthew.
I know. Actually, we didn't. It wasn't Matthew Modine's fault in Pacific Heights. No. It was the character's fault. But it was hilarious that he liked it and like retweeted it, and we were like, you should have maybe listened. But that's fine.
Yeah. Did you have any more?
Yeah, two more. Johnny Dangerously.
Oh, I actually like that one. It's Michael Keaton and
Joe Piscopo. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was funny at the time. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's super goofy. And then the last one is Protocol with Goldie Hawn.
Oh.
No.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
incredibly okay.
Incredibly okay. Put that on the box.
Yeah, put that on the sir.
Yeah, but what MCU movie was out then?
Good question. Let me Google it.
Okay.
I think we all know where we were when the Flash broke the sound barrier. Let's see. 1984. All right, go ahead.
Remember where you were when the Flash broke into everybody's house and assaulted them in Hawaii?
Pool furniture, people.
Like, how has he not been like evicted from Hawaii yet?
Oh my God. That's right.
I true story. I met Ezra Miller at my friend's wedding like 20 years ago when he was a kid. And there's a picture of me with him, them. And he was just they were a nice kid. I have no other story, but I just think it's weird.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the top songs? December 8th, 1984, the week of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is a really good list. This is much more about the culture of the time, not that shit that Sonia was, the lists that they had from Siskel and Ebert. Who gives a shit? Number 10, Pat Benatar, We Belong. Great
Love Pat Benatar. And if there are no songs from a passage to India on this list, then it is not representative of our time.
Love theme from Mickey and Maud.
New Edition, Cool It Now.
Oh, I love New Edition.
Great song. Lionel Richie, Penny Lover. You couldn't get away from Lionel Richie in 84.
That album was gigantic.
Yeah. The Honey Drippers, Sea of Love, Robert Plant.
I love that song.
It's a great song. This is not good, and I love Paul McCartney. No More Lonely Nights. Boo. This is a great song. Cyndi Lauper, All Through the Night.
That's a good one.
Oh my God, such a good song. Duran Duran, Wild Boys.
I was all in on Duran Duran back in the day.
Was I. Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. Good song.
I still love that.
That
song.
feels like it should have been in Beverly Hills Cop.
For sure.
It should have been. Yeah. Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go.
My sister loved Wham. She had the shirts and the posters, and like she had like pictures of George Michael up on the wall, and I was like, he doesn't like you.
No.
She was like, she loved him. I mean, what's not to love?
And the number one song that week, Daryl Hall and John Oates, Out of Touch.
I loved Daryl Hall and John Oates.
I still love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, I went and saw them at a concert here they played at the Sleep Train Pavilion.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo. It
What's
was
your Sleep Train number?
Yeah. And it turned out, it was so funny because I went with like my sister and a bunch of friends, and there were like a shit ton of people from my high school there. It basically turned into a high school reunion. And I was like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to see you people. I just wanted to see Daryl Hall and John Oates do Private Eyes.
It's a great song.
It's so good.
It's like when I saw Problem Child and like my entire Little League team was there separately. And I was like, how did this happen?
Oh, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried. He was very funny in movies.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I love
I
him.
wonder if Junior from Problem Child were a real man, like I wonder what he would be doing now. These are the questions that keep me up at night.
Do you think he grows up to be like some sort of Tinder swindler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
This was super fun. Adam, please tell people where they can find you on the internet.
I write and do podcasts every once in a while on fthismovie.com. It's the letter fthismovie.com. And I'm on Twitter at Risky Adam.
You're also doing some YouTube videos that are real great.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I used to do a written column with my friend Rob, but we changed it to a YouTube series. So if you go to the F This Movie YouTube channel, you'll find all of those. They're called Reserved Seating. And right now we're in the middle of a Jack Ryan series. So we've done Hunter Red October and Patriot Games so far. And this week will be Clear and Present Danger.
I loved what you did with the Oscars. You did your own nominations and you had your own like jokes and reaction shots.
Oh,
people
thanks.
in the crowd. That I wish they actually aired that versus the Oscars. We're texting one another.
It would have been on brand for this year because everybody was saying like, why are they making fun of the nominees and not celebrating them? So,
yeah.
And your appearances on F This Movie are always so great. And every time you and Patrick break into impressions, I laugh so hard I cry every time. Your Marky Marks, your Kiefer Sutherlands, your Owen Wilsons, they always make me laugh.
The magic is that no matter who we're doing the impression of, it's like a 4 out of 10.
Shit, damn it. So good.
Oh, speaking of Oscars real quick, I went on vacation recently and then I went to the Academy Museum.
Ooh.
And this was a few days after the Will Smith slap thing. And I kept trying to like talk to people about it and none of them were allowed to talk to me about it.
Oh, wow. I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not allowed to
Was it
talk
worth
about it
going
here
to?
either.
Yeah. Was it worth going to, Adam?
Yeah, it was fun. I was there for like a couple of hours, and there's like 4 floors with different exhibits and everything like that. There's some cool stuff in there.
Okay, cool.
It sounds like my jam. I think I would like it.
Yeah, it's right next to LACMA, I think. So like you could do both museums, like you just park in the same garage and everything like that. So it's pretty convenient.
Will do.
And then go to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And then go to Beverly Hills, yeah.
Get thrown out a window.
Beverly Hills.
Margo.
What would you have done if they threw me out on the street? Get me for jaywalking?
So good. So many jokes. So many jokes in this movie. I love it. Margo, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on social media at Brooklyn Fit Chick, and my site is brooklynfitchick.com. And I do some posts for this show and other stuff on the TikTok at Margo Donahue.
And everyone should be following Margo. Her book is coming out really soon, and it's gonna be rad. So do it.
It's filmed in Brooklyn. That's the title, and I'm at almost 300 movies with it.
Damn.
And trust me, as Adam was saying, not a lot of good films recently.
Yeah.
And Baby Mama, wow, is that not great?
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Brooklyn connection, at the museum, there's this whole room with Spike Lee stuff from the 40 Acres and a Mule production office. And a lot of it is stuff like that was signed to him by like other artists and like celebrities. And there's a framed poster for Jurassic Park, and it just says, "To Spike from Steven, roar." And it's the greatest thing. I have a picture of it I can send to both of you.
Oh, please. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's combining so many things I love. The next time you come out to Brooklyn, I'll take you by there, Fort Greene, where his 40 Acres and a Mule is.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Margo, you need to come out to LA and I'll meet you.
Yeah, let's do it.
We could do stuff like this.
I need to get out of this apartment.
Yeah, we could do some stuff together. It would be super fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Until then, you can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm on TikTok too, because I like to ruin it for kids. And if you want to learn more about Dorking Out, you can go to dorkingoutshow.com. And if you listen to us on Spotify or Apple, want to give us a review, that would be fabulous. We'll give you a shout out on the show. And you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. We'll send you stickers if you like. Send us your address. And we take requests. So if there's a movie you really want us to dork out about, let us know. And we'll do it. Like recently, people asked us to replay our cocktail episode. So we did.
And it featured Erica from F This Movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She's a delight. This is
her love of cocktail is inspiring because that movie's so silly.
It is not good. It is not good, but it is really fun to talk about.
More
the hippie
poems.
shake.
More
Come on.
poems.
More poems. I'm like, I just want my drink. Just give me my drink. Stop with the poems.
Coughlin's Law.
But I'm so glad that we took the time to talk about Beverly Hills Cop. This was super, super fun. Let's all do let's do the neutron dance out of here. What is the neutron dance, by the way?
I don't know. Oh, you know what they should have made? They should have done where like a producer's just like, so Beverly Hills Cop's really popular, and so is Cocktail. Beverly Hills Cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just Brian Goes West. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cocktail, Brian Goes West. Why do I remember that Tom Cruise's name is Brian in that movie? I've seen it like once.